All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this because President Trump just got CNN and all these Democrats going crazy. Now, President Trump hinted at running for a third term, even though we know President Trump is not going to run for a third term. We've been hearing him say over and over that he pretty much supports, J.D. Vance, you know what I'm saying, and Marco Rubio pretty much as the vice president to run. But even every time President Trump hinted running for a third term, it's like the Democrat, they just explode. It's like they need ibuprofen because they head be hurting. And so now they just panicking because the reason why they're scared, because they know if Donald Trump run again, he's going to win. They know they cannot beat him. So that's why they are just pushing for this right here. Like, oh, please, he can't run. If he do, we're going to lock him up. Just all type of stuff. And not only that, we even got more news on the government shutdown. You even got Chuck Schumer and the Democrats. Their own party is turning on them right now. A lot of people going crazy, not getting a snap and stuff like that. And like I said, it's a lot of Democrats right now that's been coming out and turning on Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. And we got a lot more to get to. Jack Smith is in trouble. So like I said, we got a good bit of stuff to get to. So please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. And shout out to everybody, especially one that always watches the entire video, man. I appreciate all of y'all. I can't thank y'all enough. Just like the video yesterday, I got a lot of y'all in the comment section saying, Adogg, I watched the entire video, and I appreciate all of you for doing it because it definitely helps get the message out there. It helps get President Trump's message out there. So I appreciate everybody that let me know in the comment section that you did stay to the end. So please let me know down below in the comment section that you stayed to the end of this video and you hit that like button, all right? Because it definitely helps out. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this, y'all. Let's go. Now, let's start it off with this right here when they were saying that President Trump hinted at running at a third term, saying, hey, you know what? I can run and be vice president. They don't want President Trump to do anything because they know he's going to win. So let's check this out right here, y'all.
Sir, Steve Bannon said in a recent interview that there could be plans for you to be able to run and potentially win a third term in 2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the court to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know. But I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I mean, I just solved 8 wars and a 9th is coming. I believe Russia-Ukraine will happen.
You said that for 2028, they're very good people.
Well, we have great people. Well, I don't have to get into that, but we have one of them standing right here. We have JD, obviously. The vice president is great. I think Marco's great. I think, I'm not sure if anybody would run against us. I think if they ever formed a group, it would be unstoppable. I really do. I believe that. I would love to do it. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have my best numbers. If you read it, am I not ruling it out? I mean, you'll have to tell me. All I can tell you is that we have a great group of people, which they don't. They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy, a tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
The readout from Walter Reed mentioned advanced medical imaging. Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what that was?
I did. I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and in the machine, the whole thing. Yeah. And it was perfect. Yeah.
Can you say what in particular?
You could ask the doctors. In fact, we have doctors traveling with us, but I think they gave you a very conclusive. Nobody has ever given you reports like I gave you. And if I didn't think it was going to be good, either I would let you know negatively, I wouldn't run, I'd do something, but the doctor said some of the best reports for the age, some of the best reports they've ever seen.
One theory on how you might try to serve a third term is that you could run as the vice president.
Yeah, I'd be allowed to do that.
Is it the White House or the White House counsels or your legal position, I
No, you'd be allowed to do that, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. I think it's too cute. Yeah, I would rule that out because it's too cute. I think the people wouldn't like that. It's too cute. It's not. It wouldn't be right.
So he says too cute, and I wouldn't rule it out. So these comments just caused the Democrat Party to just go crazy. They looking for President Trump to say, "No, I'm not running. I'm done after this." That's what they want him to say. It's like President Trump, no matter what this man do, they just find a way to get mad. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So if you get to this right here, look at this right here. Senator Ruben Gallego demands the arrest of President Donald Trump if he runs for a third term. Look at this. Oh my God, with the crying emoji. Look at this. I mean, watch what he say.
I don't take it seriously because he will, be in violation of the Constitution, and he should be arrested if he attempts to do that.
He should be arrested.
You think he should be arrested if he attempts to have a third term in any way? At what point?
Well, what you mean anyway? He can still be vice president. So, I mean, like, this is what I don't get, boy. They are so scared because they know no matter who they got over there, President Trump is going to win. That's the reason why they don't want him to run. They know he's going to win.
I mean, if he talks about it, what constitutes doing that in your view?
If he files to run for presidency and attempts to run for elections, and then circumvents and ignores the rules, I think that would be a quick decision by the Supreme Court.
Oh, shut up.
Then at that point, once his presidency is up, when he is, supposed to be, out of office, he's a violation of the Constitution of the United States, and he should be arrested.
Oh, he should be arrested. Look at this. Boy, I'm telling you, even Scott Jennings had to call him out on this. Look at this. Just in, Scott Jennings mocks Democrats for melting down over President Trump's third term talk, and we know for a fact that President Trump always trolls the Democrats. They fall for everything he say. They fall for everything he say. Listen to what Scott Jennings said.
I think he's trolling the Democrats. Which he loves to do, and they fall for it every time. They've been doing it for 10 years.
Yep.
On a number of issues. Look, the president himself acknowledged that this sort of gimmicky idea about, electing him vice president, and I guess the other gimmick would be to elect him Speaker of the House and then have the president and vice president resign. These are all gimmicks. He said it would be too cute by half.
Yeah, he did.
He's not going to need a third term. He's had 2 very successful terms, I'm sure, by the end of 2028.
And then we all believe in J.D. Vance. I believe J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio will win regardless. But we know if President Trump ran again, he will win. We know that for a fact. And I believe J.D. Vance is going to win regardless. Who do they have over there? Gavin Newsom? He can't even run California. How he going to run for the presidency of how he going to run the United States when he can't run California? Then you got Jasmine Crockett. She just is ghetto as I don't know what. AOC don't know what she's talking about. All she do is scream.
I think this is a troll. I think people are unnecessarily falling for it, and I think they're probably selling a ton of hats because of it, and they're laughing the entire time it's happening.
Let's watch what Senator...
And that's exactly what it's been. And then look at this right here. I definitely wanted to show y'all this is the woman that I call Whoopi Goldturd. Whoopi Goldturd. So now, listen to what she said. Breaking, Whoopi Goldberg is being called out for making the most ironic statement possible. On the Biden, she said on the Biden auto pen, she said, stop investigating a man who is no longer in office. So last time I checked, President Trump was not in office before he got elected. And was Joe Biden going after President Trump trying to lock him up? Yes, he was. He had Letitia James on him, Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, all of these people. Like I said, Letitia James, like all of these people was going after President Trump trying to lock this man up. He wasn't in office. Why was they investigating President Trump trying to go after him? Also, now President Trump is in office. Whoopi Goldturd want to say, stop investigating a man who's no longer in office. I mean, this right here is sick. They want you, we ain't even got to listen to her because I'm telling y'all what she's saying. They want you to forget the last 4 years and believe you were born yesterday. My God. And then you already got Democrats coming out talking about, when Donald Trump get out of office and if we win, we're going to investigate him. We're going to investigate ICE. We're going after J.D. Vance. We're going out. They already talking about who they going to go after if they win. Like, these people are just freaking hypocrites. So let's turn the tables for a second. Because now I say breaking. President Trump just demanded prison for Jack Smith after it was revealed over 160 Republicans were investigated for no valid reason. These thugs should have all been investigated and put in prison. A disgrace to humanity. Deranged Jack Smith is a criminal, a scandal of the century. And that right there is exactly what I was talking about. Is that Jack Smith, Letitia James, Fannie Willis, Alvin Bragg, all of these people were trying to lock this man up, kept him in these cold courtrooms and stuff like that, and trying to investigate him, lying on him, trying to throw him in prison. And then Whoopi Goldberg talking about, oh, don't go out there, Joe Biden, he ain't in office no more. Boy, I tell you the truth, they are something else. But look at this, Senator Chuck Grassley drops a bombshell. Jack Smith and the Biden FBI targeted conservative groups, including Turning Point USA. 197 subpoenas have just been made public. Let's check this out.
Whistleblower disclosures. 197 subpoenas were issued by Jack Smith and his team. These subpoenas were issued to 34 individuals and 163 businesses, including financial institutions. And one of the points of contact on many of these subpoenas was that person I previously named, Special Agent Walter Giardino. The subpoena requested records and communications related to over 430 individual and organizations. All of them appear to be aimed at Republicans. A subpoena to Event Strategies requested records relating to Turning Point USA and the Republican Attorney General's Association. One subpoena to Apple sought records relating to Trump and the January 6th prison choir. Earlier this year, I obtained emails between and among J.P. Cooney, one of Jack Smith's prosecutors. That email exchange was March 2023 about a partisan news article on January 6th, and this is what Cooney said in the email. Can we do some work to nail down Trump's role in this, perhaps with the same process on Ed Henry's LLC, end quote. Just the next month, April 2023.
All right, so there's Chuck Grassley with the latest document dump on Arctic frost, the investigation into the 2020 election and what happened after the election day.
Exactly. So we see Jack Smith. That's why you see Jack Smith been quiet. You ain't been hearing from Jack Smith, but it's not looking too good for him. And we done went over plenty of videos of Jack Smith pretty much going out to President Trump. And like I said, all of the rest of his cronies that were trying to lock this man up over a lie. Not only that, remember they raided Mar-a-Lago and planted stuff and try to put it on President Trump. And President Trump is not going for that. Like, all these people need to go down for what they did. So let's turn the tables right quick on the government being shut down. Now, the Democrats in D.C. are panicking after this brutal moment on CNN. Now, Jake Tapper from CNN even called out the Democrats, and they lost it.
Should the Democratic senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
Let me be clear. The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding their tactics.
Now, here she goes. So it's one of those things for where, like, when you call out a Democrat, they try to talk over you. So she want to try to blame it on President Trump when President Trump ain't the one that closed down the government. The Democrats did. They the one refusing they the one who keep, rejecting to open up the government. They say you need, 60 votes. And they need Democrats' help. And those Democrats, only a few of them is, supporting, which is one of them is John Fetterman. But the rest of them keep rejecting and refusing to reopen the government. And they still blaming it on President Trump.
House. Well, this is a choice by the White House.
And this
They
is
are
also,
choosing
Congresswoman,
to
this
cut
is
off
also a
food
choice
assistance.
by Senate Democrats
No,
to not
it is
vote to
not.
open the government. Yes, it is.
This
I understand
Senate-
why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want Medicaid funds restored. They're doing it because they want Obamacare premiums to be extended past the end of the year. I understand the reasoning.
Sir, let me just be clear. The money for contingency plans is sitting there. That is why the states are suing. The White House is withholding funds from
2 to 3
children
weeks worth
to
of SNAP
have
funds.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it may not be a big deal to you, but let me
It is
tell
a
you
big
that
deal to
for
me.
the grandparents, for
It
grandparents
is a big deal
that
to me.
literally are feeding their children,
My point
to
is that
not
it's a
have
short-term
money
solution.
in those accounts.
It's a
it doesn't
short-term-
matter. At the end of the day, people need to be able to feed their families, and Saturday.
Okay, if people need to be able to feed their family, then why is the Democrats shutting down the government because they want $1.5 trillion in free healthcare for illegal aliens? We just went over a video yesterday of a female Democrat pretty much saying that they are using the American people as leverage to get what they want. I just showed that video yesterday. That this woman is saying that the Democrats is using the American people as leverage to get $1.5 trillion.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, you know, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have.
It's like, come on, man. And she's still sitting here. This woman right here, Melania Stansberry, is still sitting here trying to blame the White House and President Trump.
When those funds
If you
run
feel
out,
so
and
strongly,
we are fighting
Congresswoman,
to get
why
that
not
funding.
ask the Senate Democrats from New Mexico to vote to open the government so that the SNAP funds...
Sir, I am here in the House of Representatives. It is shut down. I am fighting to get the government reopened. I am fighting to get funding put back into SNAP that is already existent, and I am fighting for the American people. I am here. But show me a single Republican that
They fighting for the American people. Really? So their way of fighting for the American people is shutting down the government and blaming it on Republicans. They are fighting for illegal aliens. That's who they fighting for.
is here. Not a single one is here to make sure that Americans are fed on Saturday. That is why I am here.
Democratic Congresswoman.
So at that point, you know, Jake Tapper like, hell, ain't no use him talking because she gonna keep saying the same thing over and over. You know, we don't trust Jake Tapper at all, but at least he was trying to call her out, but obviously she just kept talking over him and still blaming Republicans. The same thing Hakeem Jeffries been doing now. Check out what Senator John Kennedy did. He calls it like it is when it comes to Chuck Schumer and the Democrat Party right now.
Look, if the bill comes in front of us, I'm going to vote for it. I just think it's a waste of time talking about it because the Democrats aren't going to vote for it. The way to get everybody paid is to open up the government. We're not asking our Democratic colleagues to sell a kidney. All we're saying is we don't want anything. We just want to open up government so we can negotiate a budget. And Senator Schumer has said, well, I'll only open it up if you give us $1.5 trillion and gut the one big beautiful bill like a fish. Well, you know, Stuart, I'm not Bambi's baby brother. I'm not going to vote for that. I don't know any Republicans going to vote for that. Okay. So the Democrats have a decision to make. We're going to just stay shut down. I hate to see it. People are being hurt. But look, I voted yes to open it up 13 times. All of us have. I can't make Senator Schumer and my Democratic friends, I can't make them do it. They're looking foolish. I mean, I'm sure Jesus loves them, but to the American people, they're looking like idiots, in my opinion.
Exactly. You heard what he said. I'm pretty sure Jesus loves them, but to the American people, they looking like idiots. And I agree with Senator John Kennedy, because that right there, like I said, makes a lot of sense. And like I said, it's just a lot of people from the Democrat Party is turning on them. And look at this, a terrifying sight for Chuck Schumer as regular Americans fume about Democrats refusing to pay TSA agents and air traffic controllers.
Considering all the work that still needing to be put in and to not receive compensation is tough. These guys went to school, worked really hard, potentially took on thousands of dollars in debt, and that's not how we want to treat our, airline employees that still have to come to work because we got places to be. So we at least appreciate them for showing up, but hopefully that gets fixed soon.
Just open the government back up. Quit Democrat, Republican. Just come in the middle. We're one America, right?
And they're just what it is. So the thing is that they want to gut the big, beautiful bill. That's what they're trying to do, trying to undo what President Trump already in the past. And they trying to undo it. And it's just not going to happen. Then you see this at holy crap, things just got worse for Chuck Schumer. A member of his own party just turned on him. And it ain't just him. It's a lot of Democrats. I mean, thousands of them, millions of them, of Democrats is turning on their own party because they can kind of see right down the line that, look, this is the 13th time they refuse to open up the government. The Republican is voting to open up the government. The Democrats just don't want to refuse, and so they will refuse and then turn around and say it's the Republican fault because they want $1.5 trillion. And President Trump is not finna do that. He's not finna undo the big, beautiful bill. So that's what they're trying to cancel out. So check this out right here.
Well, I think we actually, I mean, it doesn't solve the health insurance problem, the premium problem. I think what's a very fair deal and is open the government and let's just vote on extending these premiums for a year or more. Well, I don't understand what's so hard about that. And by the way, Senator Thune has offered that, I believe. He said we'll have he offered up a vote that we can actually have a vote on extending these premiums. I think when put to it, you're going to see Democrat and Republicans, senators and congressmen and women want to vote for that. Why would you not want to vote to extend help with these tax credits, get premiums down for people? People are getting hurt right now in their pocketbooks. They're really need help.
Yep.
So why not give them some help?
And you see, like I said, it's just starting at, and then not only that, President Trump's approval rating, the Republican approval rating has gone up. And then you see this, Speaker Johnson slammed the House. Democrats are playing political games at the expense of the American people. Like I said, we showed a clip of the woman pretty much saying, the Democrat female pretty much saying, the Democrats are using this as leverage, using this shutdown as leverage.
We're almost 30 days into a shutdown. Speaker, maybe give us a synopsis of where we are and why.
He and I are a lot less jovial right now than they normally are because we're feeling so frustrated and we're just angered by the fact that the Democrats are playing games right now. And it's pretty readily apparent, the simple facts are that we must have Democrats to reopen the government. And they keep saying breathlessly that it's the Republicans, they're in control of the government. Everybody knows from civics and, if you follow government at all, you have to have 60 votes in the Senate. We only have 53 Republicans. And so it is the Democrats who have now voted 13 times to close the government between the House and the Senate. Republicans voted every time to open it. So it's very clear. And everybody wants to know why. Well, it's important to note what they've countered, what they're demanding as ransom to reopen the government, to get paychecks back to federal employees and troops and TSA agents and Border Patrol agents and air traffic controllers and nutrition assistants to young women and elderly and disabled and veterans health care services and all of it. What they're holding at ransom is the people themselves, because what they're demanding is $1.5 trillion in new spending. They want $200 billion to be returned for health care to illegal aliens, paid more taxpayer dollars. They want to give $500 million back to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. They want to spend money all over the world on these wasteful foreign social programs to increase LGBTQ awareness in the Horn of Africa and all kinds of crazy stuff. They put that on paper. They're demanding that as a ransom to reopen the government.
Wow.
And we're not going to do that, and they know it. And everybody wants to know why. Why would they do that? And it boils down to this, August, and you and I know it, Steve knows it. The Democrats in Congress are more afraid of the rising Marxist far left in their party than they are about taking food out of the mouths of hungry Americans. I mean, that's just a fact, and everybody can see it. You got Hakeem Jeffries in the House, Chuck Schumer in the Senate. Those are the two leaders. They're both from New York. And we all know that Marxism is all the rage in New York. Mamdani is about to be elected mayor of America's largest city. He'll ruin it in short order. But they're afraid, those two guys in particular, and many others in the House and Senate, they're afraid that if they don't appease the Marxist base, that they will kick them out of their political chairs.
And that's what it is. Like, look at what they asking for. It is just insane of what they asking for. Not only that, Speaker Johnson didn't stop there. He just went scorched earth on Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. He's not going around both of them in negotiations.
Wouldn't that be a futile exercise when we have a CR that's been sitting over there since September 19th? If I brought the House back and we passed another CR, it would meet the exact same fate with Chuck Schumer. He would mock it, they would spike it, and they would try to blame it on us. So what would be the point of that? We're all concerned about the timing. The Democrats are eating up the clock. We have very important work to do here, and that's why we're pleading with them, not Chuck Schumer. Look, I think Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are irredeemable at this point. I don't think they'll be able to tell Mondami in New York and his disciples that they voted to open the government. I've given up on the leadership. So we're trying to appeal to a handful of moderates or centrists who care more about the American people and will put the people's interests over their own and do the right thing in the Senate. I mean, there's no point in me sitting down with Chuck Schumer. He's painted himself into a corner. I get all that. Mondami it looks like he's going to win and be the mayor of New York City. And Hakeem Jeffries came out and endorsed him. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
Hakeem Jeffries is terrified that Mondami, one of his disciples, is going to challenge him in his own seat in the election next fall. You've already seen that rumored. Some of you have reported on it. So he had to do it. He had to endorse socialism. He had to endorse Marxism. This dangerous ideology that is taking over the Democrat Party.
To save
That
himself.
is what is motivating them. So it doesn't matter what we do in the House. It doesn't matter what we pass. We have to get a handful of moderates over there who care about America to do the right thing. We need at least 7 days.
So that's what it is right there. Hakeem Jeffries is worried about getting his seat taken, and that's the reason why. So that's why you still see him going around, him and Chuck Schumer still going around, lying, trying to blame it on the Republicans, and we know what it is. And now Steve Scalise even went off. He got so mad, he's yelling at Chuck Schumer for inflicting suffering nationwide.
That there is suffering, but they're doing it for leverage. So you can't have it both ways, Chuck Schumer. You can't wake up one day and say you're going to try to blame it on the Republicans, and then on the next day, you're trying to say that, gee whiz, we know that we're causing these problems. They're admitting they're causing suffering on people, but they're doing it for leverage. And they can't even explain what that leverage is, because they just need to show their radical base that they're having a fight with Donald Trump.
That's all it is.
That's all it's been about.
That's all it's been about. Yep.
You really want to know who's calling the shots in the Democrat Party. You saw it on the stage this past weekend. Bernie and AOC on the stage with the new leader of the Democrat Party, Mondami. Maybe Chuck Schumer's waiting for Mondami to let him know when he can open the government back up again. But families can't wait, because the real suffering is going to begin. It's already been happening, but it really hits home this weekend when SNAP benefits run out. And they know that.
Yeah, they know it, and like I said, they don't care.
Prioritize funding feminism in Africa over the food stamps of their own people. They're not that stupid, but apparently Hakeem Jeffries is, and that's a real problem for all of us here. I was on the phone with an ambassador this morning. I'm not going to say where, but we have requests for people to leave embassies abroad because of very real threats that are going on. The people in that embassy are right now trying to figure out if they have cash funding to get fuel for vehicles or to have diesel to put in their generators because they don't have reliable electricity in the places that they're in. Those are the real world consequences. While they're also worrying about their paycheck isn't coming in, can their family back home buy groceries, pay their bill for student loans, pay for the fuel to get their kids to school, or the tuition at their children's school, or all the other things that they have to worry about while they're worrying about can they even get out of country. So
yeah, it's crazy,
those
man.
are the difference
This
in
is
values.
insane.
I guess I would close it by saying this. We need 5 Democrat senators to pull their heads out of their asses and go work for the United States of America.
Exactly.
One margin, the Capitol Hill Press Corps has tweeted more about the House calendar during the shutdown than the negative consequences of the Democrat shutdown, than the troubles that we have, the hardships that are being experienced because of the troop pay and WIC funding and flights grounded and SNAP funding. You guys are writing more about the House calendar than the real pain that's being inflicted on the American people.
Because they don't care about the American people.
And relay the simple facts.
They just don't.
Now, there's a misguided strategy that the Democrats are pursuing right now, and it reveals 2 important things that can't be glossed over. Number one, it shows they have no cards to play except to try to blame the other team, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're going to keep doing that, but like I said, it ain't going to get them nowhere.
They're also incoherently claiming that the shutdown is somehow on the fault of the other party. And the people aren't buying it. And that's why the polling continues to show that the approval of Republicans in Congress is rising with each passing day. And the Democrats, at the same time, Democrats in Congress have the lowest approval rating they have ever had since polling began, since recorded polling began on these measures.
Because they thought shutting down the government was going to hurt President Trump and hurt the Republican, but obviously we seen the other day that the approval rating is still skyrocketing because, like I mentioned earlier, that the American people understand who is doing this. It's the Democrats. But their goal is to shut it down, try to hurt the American people, and think it's going to help them in the midterms. Oh, y'all remember Donald Trump shut the government down and the people were suffering. That's what they're trying to run with. That's not going to work because American people know that the Democrats are doing this for leverage because they want money. They want free health care for illegal aliens, and it's not going to happen. They're trying to gut the big, beautiful bill. It's not going to happen.
And here's just an example yesterday. For example, CNN polling showed yesterday the approval of Republicans in Congress is up 8% since the shutdown began among independents. I mean, that's an important metric because people are paying attention. They understand what's happening, and they see who is responsible. It's a really important thing to watch. Ronald Reagan used to remind us that you can always trust the American people, and we do. We trust their intelligence, and we trust their understanding of basic civics. In fact, we trust the American people's understanding of civics far more than the Democrats in this building right now.
Exactly. And like I said, I agree with that right there 100% because like I said, we see exactly what's going on here, all that trying to blame the Republicans for this, hurting the American people. Now, one clip that I did want to show y'all is Senator Mark Wayne Mullen confirmed Chuck Schumer public support is plummeting because he held the government hostage for illegal aliens.
September, they passed it. They voted for it. The Democrats, all of them voted for it in December. They passed it. They voted for it in January, and they voted for it again in March. What's changed is the political environment. Their base demanded that they shut down the government, and they shut it down. And now they're looking to play the blame game and try to pin it on Republicans or try to pin it on the president. When even CNN's own poll shows that they're losing at that argument because American people aren't fools, but they play them like they are.
Well, I mean, just to follow up on Dana's point, I don't know how we ended up with 1 in 8 million Americans with
That's right.
supplemental benefits. I don't know how that happened.
That is just, like I said, it's just crazy, man, like to see this and people are suffering and then these Democrats just show you that they just don't care. It's crazy that they know they don't want to shutting the government down because, like I said, for leverage, using American people for leverage, and then get on camera and say it's Donald Trump's fault. It's like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Now, even right here, it's a brutal moment of Senate Democrats and Chuck Schumer after Senator Peter Welch, a Democrat, say shutdown are bad, then gets absolutely grilled.
All critique of shutdown is a tactic. It really is not something that's desirable.
You can vote.
But
you can
there
vote.
is a real issue about health care.
You're always reasonable when you come on, and I've said I've said that. And you're almost conceding that you should not be shutting down the government, that the Democrats should not be doing that. And I don't think you'd ever say that extortion is the way that Republicans should get their way if they don't like the IRA or they don't like overspending or whatever it is at any given point in time where the other party has a disagreement. This is not the way to do it. As far as Obamacare, you probably realize a lot of these premium increases are just built into Obamacare. The expiration of the pandemic subsidies is only a very small part of the increases. So that discussion has to be had about fixes to Obamacare so it doesn't keep spiraling, the costs don't keep spiraling. But you know you're not going to do that before we reopen the government. It's not going to happen. It's going to have to happen afterwards. Are you ready to vote with the Republicans to reopen the government at this point as a reasonable Democrat? Maybe others would follow you.
You know, I'm not there yet because we have had literally, Joe, no discussion.
He literally said he's not there yet. That just go to show you that they do not care about the American people. This man literally said, we are not there yet. It's been almost a month, and y'all not there yet?
Whatsoever about how we're going to deal with this.
This is the right way to do it, Senator? by people not getting paychecks at the TSA? This is extortion. You think this is the right way to do it? In your conscience, you think it's the right way to do it? I never thought I'd say that, Andrew, that as a human being, he always says that. As a human being, you think this is the right thing to do? That's your line.
Well, that's why Senator Hawley and have our bill to make sure that folks get the nutrition that they absolutely need is why the president is paying the troops. But there is something that we've all got to acknowledge here, okay? The administration has had an attack on health care, as we know.
Oh, my God.
The Medicaid cuts were immense. They're going to have real impacts on individuals, and they're going to have impacts on safety.
Oh, shut up. Let's get on down right here to Ted Cruz, because I like what he had to say about this. Let's check this out.
Where the American people are is real simple. We're on day 29 of the stupidest shutdown.
Yep.
This is the Schumer shutdown. And it is the stupidest shutdown because it is a shutdown for literally no reason. The reason the government is shut down is that Chuck Schumer has a political problem. And he has a political problem from right where you're sitting right now, from New York. The last time the Democrats allowed the government to stay open, it was in March of this year, the left-wing base in the Democrat Party went nuts. And he almost lost his job. They almost threw him out of the job as minority leader. This shutdown exists for one purpose, and it's for him to tell the crazy left-wing base, the nuts that were dancing in the No Kings rally, I hate Donald Trump as much as you do. And all the rest of the Democrats, they're like lemmings. They're saying, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. 13 times now the Republicans have voted to open the government, to pay the federal workers. 13 times the Democrats' party line have voted no. Keep it shut down, keep it shut down, keep it shut down. And at this point, it's not even clear they have an exit ramp. I think they're going to continue this another week or two, and then at some point, 7 or 8 Democrats are going to have some sense come into them. I think it is very likely to be retiring Democrats who will never again face a primary election, so they're more insulated from the crazy left-wing base. But we are watching performative art. We're not watching public policy. We're not watching elected officials who give a damn about the people they represent. This is all about political saving Chuck Schumer's rear end.
Exactly. Salute to Ted Cruz for even saying that. Now, another one I wanted to show y'all, Senator Leader John Thune. He just did this like 50-some minutes ago, and I definitely wanted to make sure I showed y'all this clip that he went berserk on Democrats. Check it out.
Let me just point out, if I might, that we are 29 days into a Democrat shutdown. And the senator from New Mexico was absolutely right. SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about. And you all have just figured out, 29 days in, that, there might be some consequences. There are people who run out of money. Yeah, we're 29 days in. And they've done their best to make sure that a lot of these programs are funded. But at some point, the government runs out of money. 13 times, people over here voted to fund SNAP. 13 times they voted to fund WIC. My aching back. Finally realized this thing has consequences. Well, you know what? What Democrats are doing here. They're making plans to keep the shutdown going.
Wow. And you see how frustrated and how mad Senator John Thune is. And of course, the American people, we all feel the same way. Now, I mean, this is just crazy, man. This is just absolutely crazy. Now, even you can see right here, Senator Kennedy says that Senator John Kennedy dropped a truth nuke on the Democrat Party. He pretty much said even duct tape can't fix stupid. Chuck Schumer, he's a wet match in a dark cave. He's posed up there with Club and Baby Seal. He got a 30% approval rating, a 6% disapproval rating. The Democrats have accused President Trump of everything except abandoning his children to wolves. They daily call him a racist and a Nazi. The Democrats are angry for 2 reasons. Because President Trump won the election, my Democratic colleagues need to drink a big old glass of get over it and move on. That's what they need to drink, a big old glass of get over it and move on. Then he go on to say, 2, they are mad that the American people are mad about the shutdown. I voted 13 times to open the government up. Democrats have voted 13 times to shut it down. They don't want to pay food stamps, pay the military. They want to use this as leverage for more money to spend. There we go right there. So like I said before, y'all get in the comment section, man. Let me know what y'all think about this. I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out. And as you can see, people are turning on the Democrat Party. Their own base is turning on the Democrat Party, turning on Chuck Schumer's and Hakeem Jeffries. I understand it was a long video. I had to make sure I got everything out for y'all so y'all will be up to date with everything that's going on. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.